Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. In this video I want to share some information about replicating Niagara FX, which I've learned recently. Now, replication I am not very good at, let's just say. It's definitely, I'm still in the learning stages myself, and there are things that completely confuse me about it. But I think I'm sort of getting there slowly with some bits and pieces. And I've been working on a project with somebody to try and get some Niagara FX replicated, and it has proven to be difficult. We're not quite there yet, but that might be because of some of the other bits and pieces in the project. But one thing that I did find was how to replicate most basic Niagara effects, sort of like muzzle flashes and sort of explosions and sort of like one-off kind of things, which would replicate over like everybody's screen, I guess. Um, Project I'm working on is more of like a laser sight for a gun to be replicated, where it updates wherever the person's moving. With the existing project is proving difficult, but that's besides the point. I want to sort of share the bits of information about just getting general stuff on the screen. Now, where I actually got the help from is this channel, Werewolven. So they also do sort of Unreal tutorials and stuff like that. And one of the videos just shared a bit of information which really made this process a bit easier. So I probably wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't know this myself if it wasn't for them. So props to them. I've been and liked the video. You could go and check them out. That's where this idea basically came from. But let's get into it. So what I was just thinking, I probably should have prepared a demonstration, but the basis is we're going to be replicating some effects in multiplayer. So let's just quickly make a Niagara system. So we'll pick something radial burst. Let's click create. Let's give it a name. Let's just call it FX burst for this video. Just going to jump into that quickly. Well, that's minimized. So come on, what are you doing? So we've got this little burst at the moment. What I'm going to do is just make it a little bit more obvious. Initialize particle. I'm just going to change this color to something a bit more obvious. So we've got a pink. What's this one? Well, they're all going to be white, aren't they? So we'll make that blue. And that'll do. That's a bit more obvious. So hit save, because that's pretty much that particle done. We don't need to worry about that. So we've got a particle to sort of emit or spawn, let's say. So let's go into the system now. And why is everything open in minimize? That's really weird. What I'm going to quickly do is just change that, because it's going to bug me if I keep opening stuff. So editor preferences, and I'm going to change the asset open location to main window, and that saves it opening in a weird tab. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add in sort of a spawn system, just as you normally would. So instead of using the input system and setting up a mapping, just for this video to keep it quick, I'm just going to do the E key. So let's go down to the letter E. So yes, this is not the best way of doing inputs. A few people have told me that, but I know, but it makes things simpler. E key. When we press the E key, what we're going to do is we're going to spawn a system. At this point, we'll just do at location, and let's just say get actor, whoops, location, and then let's just add some where's that? Get forward vector. What I'm doing basically is I'm just going to say, well, whatever's slightly in front of the character, let's just put it there. So forward vector, multiply that by a float. This is similar to what you would do if you're doing a line trace, just to get in front of you. So we'll do 100 units in front. We'll get that, add them together. Effectively, I'm taking our location and then adding 100 units into whatever forward direction we're doing. So this is going to spawn in front of us, and then what we'll do is we'll pick the FX burst. Tell you what, I've just bought a new mouse, and it's an ergonomic mouse, and it's taking some getting used to, I'll tell you that. Right, let's just quickly test that. So hit play, and here we go. So we come over here, we press E, and we get a burst in front of us. So no matter where we go, we get a burst that's in front of us. Wonderful. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add to 200 of that. Wonderful. So now what I'm going to do, go back to the main screen, come down here, let's change the number of players to 2, and let's change the net mode to client. So each screen that's going to run, we'll do it on the second player. If I press E, you can see on the screen in the background absolutely nothing is happening. So because effectively my client is making a special effect for themselves and nobody else sees it. So if you don't need anybody else on the server to see it, that's absolutely fine, but we do want everybody to see it. Imagine a muzzle flash. You're shooting your gun, and to you the gun's working exactly as normal. There's bullets flying out the end, the gun's exploding, maybe not exploding, but there's a gun burst, let's say, and nobody else can see it. It'll look really boring. How do we fix that? So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to here. Now you're probably thinking, oh, how do I make this replicated? Is there a replication on this? No, there isn't, you know, and it gets a bit confusing. So what you can do is you need to make custom events. So effectively you can tell this specific event to run on the server, run on the client, run on both. That's effectively how you get these to work. So if we do a custom event, now the trick is one of them is going to be a server call, and then one of them is going to be a multicast. So effectively the one that you're going to call is going to be, hey server, spawn this system for me. But in actual fact, you're gonna call from the server another function which is run on your machine, which it'll make sense in just a minute. So first we're gonna do a server call. So I prefix this with server, and then we're gonna say spawn FX just for this case, and then we're gonna go to replicated, and we're gonna run this on the server. Wonderful. And then when you press the E key, you're going to do server spawn FX. Wonderful. Now, you might think, oh, let's just plug that into there, but it doesn't quite work like that. So let's see what happens. There's a chance you don't see anything now. So there you go. I'm hitting the E key. Don't know if you can hear me spamming that. Nobody can see anything now, because effectively what happened is the FX are being spawned on the server, but they're not being told to be shown on each client. So at the moment, in the background, there's FX going off, but nobody's client is being told to also see them, let's say. So what you can do is we need to create another custom event. This one is going to be prefixed with, let me get that out of the way, multi spawn FX. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set this one to replicated but multicast. So what this is going to do, we're going to run this server spawn FX. Then the server is going to run this function, which is going to trigger or call the multi-spawn FX, which is effectively going to tell your client to make a special effects on your screen for you to see. Now, the thing to consider is the server is going to be asking for this to be spawned, so it's really not going to know where this location is. So what you can do is you can pass this in. So if you add that to there, you'll get this sort of location pin that appears now on the multi-FX. If you drag that onto the custom event for the server will be asking for that. So then what we can do is, what's going to be the easiest way of doing this? Let's drag them down here, like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to connect this to there. So you're going to be pressing the E key, you're going to be telling the server, hey, spawn this thing at this location. Then the server is going to be calling the multi-FX, which is going to pass that same location in. That's then going to run on your machine. So the server's aware of it, your client's aware of it, and then it's gonna work on every machine. But that's going to work on every other sort of client that's got this. So let's run. So now if I run over here and press E, you can see that them effects are working on both machines. So if I quickly Alt-Tab over to this one, run over here, and we can't actually see it, so let's just move that over there a little bit. Hit E on here, you can see now each player is replicating its effects. So that's pretty short and sweet. I've managed to keep this under 15 minutes, which is an absolute miracle. If this was helpful, please consider giving me a like. I'm just sharing this information, so don't give me too much credit. You know, I looked through many videos to find it. Luckily, somebody did. So you should probably go over to Werewolven to sort of spread your kindness there. But a like on this video would also be appreciated to know that it was well received. If you want to see more videos like this, consider subscribing. What I will do is I'm probably going to start sharing project files because a few people have asked me for that, and I've actually got a storage solution which basically I've got enough online storage now where I could probably do that. Up until a point, I'm going to have to delete them after a while because they will probably take up most of my server space. But yeah, I'm probably going to share them. If you message me on Discord, I'll send it to you, but at this time, because I'm technically paying for the cloud storage, I'm going to put these on as members items, so they'll be on the Patreon and they'll be on the members on all levels. Out of a personal preference, YouTube membership is the best way to go. Thank you if you decide to do that. But yeah, by the way, Discord link is down in the description. You can message me, ask for help. I'll give you as much help as I can spare the time to do. I'm not going to charge you anything for that. So message me on Discord if you need anything. I will try to help you. That is where I've spent basically the last 6 months on helping sort of personal, sort of almost one-to-one project stuff. Got still a couple more on at the moment, but not as many as I did. So yeah, I'm posting some more YouTube videos. If you've made it this far, thank you very much, and I feel like I'm just talking for the sake of it now, so I will see you in a future video. Thank you for watching. Bye.